Carlsbad structure. It is probably the most important structure to master at the moment because it is featured in a lot of topical openings. The Queen's Gambit, the Semi-Slav, the Caro-Kann, the Grünfeld, and you name it. So this is something you would probably need to know, even with black or with white, and understanding the plans for white and black will help you a lot. Today at GN Talks, we're going to look at one of white's strongest plan. This is probably the strongest plan he has, and it's called the minority attack. And it doesn't mean that that you attack minorities. It means that the minority attack the majority, which we will see in just a minute. The game we'll see today is between Van Wely and Nigel Short, Loek Van Wely and Nigel Short, and it's from 2010. There are a lot of games we could have chosen. I think this game is pretty good because it somehow shows the approach whites should use when conducting a minority attack. Okay, let's get on with it. And this will be the Queen's Gambit. And of course, as I said, it can occur in many opening lines, and therefore it is nice to know. Here, black sort of plays with maybe playing the Cambridge Springs variation after bishop d5, c6, e3, queen a5, but allows white to go into the straight normal exchange variation without any fuss with the bishop coming out here, as we have actually discussed a little bit in earlier video. Okay, we'll go fast forward. This is the main line of the Queen's Gambit declined exchange variation, and it is very topical because it's featured in a lot of monograph and opening books, because it's easy to learn for white, and it saves the author a lot of time because there's not that many lines compared to maybe the bishop f4 Queen's Gambit or all the main lines. But it is also considered one of the best options for white. One of the best options for white. And a lot of black players has actually avoided this line for a long time. But recently it seems that black is starting to say, okay, we also have our ideas, especially since the Caro-Kann exchange variation has become all the rage at the moment, and white is searching for ideas and suddenly realize, maybe I can use some of these ideas with black. Okay, this is the standard, one of the standards. Here he plays knight f8. Knight e4 might be interesting. And here Nigel or Van Wely plays bishop f4. And this is another line. If he castle, we will be into the old main line. Here, white makes the possibility also to castle queenside. White has 5 plans, and today we look at the minority attack. We will get the other 4 plans in later videos. So don't worry, we will get the other plans in later videos. So don't forget to look in if you want to know what to do with white with the other plans. And after that, we will look in how to play with black, especially that he has actually 8 different possibilities against the minority attack. So there's a lot to choose for, a lot to think about, a lot to know. Here, black chooses to go a5. This is aimed at white's idea to castle queenside. Black simply, if white was to castle queenside, black will probably sacrifice the pawn with a4 and try to open lines on the queen side. And I think that's pretty good. The problem with this move is that it makes this move less appealing due to the hole it will create on b5. That's the kind of grandmaster subtleties that can be hard to get, but that's why I don't really like the move a5 in a lot of positions, because it makes your position less flexible and makes c5 much worse than it was. After a5, Van Wely has decided that the queenside was not a safe place, so he castled queenside, kingside. And this is one line, and this is very typical. Take, and we have a sort of a normal position here. Oh, White's idea is basically to go a3, b4, and b5, and attack here and make this into a weakness. This is the minority attack. As you can see, White has only 2 pawns on the queen side and Black has 3. So the minority is attacking, trying to create a weakness. And the reason why normally you cannot attack where you are the weaker part, but here you are helped by the open files. The C file helps White, and also that White has a sort of a strong center makes it easier to carry this out. Black, meanwhile, is of course trying to think about what to do against the minority attack, but also he wants to get something going on the king side. Rook f e1, that's an interesting move, and that's actually plan number 4 for White. That involves e4. He will switch plans in just a minute, but it makes sense as it is, as what Black is slightly uncoordinated here, to toy with the idea of e4. In general, the minority attack doesn't need to happen so fast. It's much more important to control the position, And here Black makes a slight mistake. He plays bishop e6. He needed to have more control with this square. Not because of e4, but because he wanted to play knight here, which is a big part of the counterplay. The thing is, if you go back, queen e7, e4 is very annoying because Black is not ready for this kind of but instead of bishop e6, he should have played bishop d7, with the idea of queen e7, knight e4. So this is Black's plan. Oops, damn it. Just a second. Go back there. That was a new move. Bishop d7, with the idea of going queen e7, knight e4, and knight h4, and attacking on the king side. This would have been a normal way, and I think Black should be fine after bishop d7. Bishop e6 is slightly wrong. a3. White is ready to start the minority attack. Rook e7. What Black has another way to, he wants to control the e file. This is where Black's main ideas comes from, is the e file, but it's kind of slow. Take. And we see that that already White is probably slightly better. Here in the notes, Van Wely doesn't mention the move b5 or c5, which is a very common move in similar situations, because the isolated pawn on d5 is not nearly as weak when White's c file is weakened. We'll get back to this in the video on how to play with Black against the minority attack. Here he carries out the plan with knight e4. Unfortunately, it's a bit slow because he doesn't have to take, and the queen is sort of wrong here. It should have been on e7 because he doesn't have control over this square at the moment. So this knight is nicely holding everything together. Take, and rook up here, getting ready to give the pawn a little massage. And Black takes here, and I'm not sure I like that either. But he's already, the problem is he can't go queen f6 because knight takes d5 and so on. So the pin was a bit awkward, but the problem is here, White is already getting close to attacking that pawn pretty much, and the Black counterplay is not coming, and especially when all the pieces are disappearing, there will be no kingside attack. No kingside attack when there's no pieces. which makes sense. Queen f6, and here white plays a very strong move. Just notice that black just set up, maybe set up some tricks here. This is very common trick with the queen on f6. Should always look out for it with white. In this position, what is the most important thing is the white plays, well, it's the kind of move that's very hard to find if unless you have seen it before. So now after this game, you've seen it before. Take here. Whoa, that nice bishop against that ridiculous knight, but the knight was starting to coming to h4, and also with only one weakness, it was not likely that white will be able to win. As we know from Aljechin's, there's a principle of two weaknesses, and this is kind of important in a lot of positions, especially in these kind of positions, that you need two weaknesses to win. Usually what white does is he gets one weakness on the queen side, and then he starts to search for another weakness, making the black position passive and eventually finding another weakness and winning the game. And this is more or less what happens in this game as well. Okay, so getting rid of the knight, taking back with the queen. Now this is a serious threat. So king f1, f6, and white is the black's problem, of course, here. But with f6, he did kick the knight out of the game, and black is defending this pawn. So, but it will be over in just 20 moves. Queen rook a1, taking the open files. Queen h5 again. This is the threat, searching for counterplay, and sometimes this counterplay can be pretty strong. This queen and bishop is not so easy to get rid of. But here comes another strong move. Knight e1. This is the square that could be attacked. This one is covering it, and here we have the knight just getting back. Queen f5, king d1, queen d5, and now the king is totally safe. There's no attack anywhere, and getting the rook around doesn't make sense. And white is basically ready to do something like this, because this big pawn down here is in trouble. Queen f5, attacking the pawn, knight d3, and notice that it's 20 moves since white managed to give black a weakness, and since that he's just been parrying threats, and this is very normal. You have to be patient with white because you're waiting for black's activity to die, and when it dies, you win. Simple as that. And this is also what's going on. And back with the king. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Rook c8. And here comes the other rooks. And now he's ready to invade. Bishop e8. Queen comes in. And suddenly black has all passive pieces. The knight has, look at this nice square where it can jump here and here. d8, and black is all busted. And to put this into perspective, Nigel Short has been playing the Queen's Gambit his whole life, and he was a world championship contender. So you should not underestimate the minority attack. If you make one little mistake, like he did with bishop e6, then you play against a strong player like Van Wely that is especially strong with these kind of positions, then it's definitely not easy. And here, well, it's tough. Yeah. You see, check, and this battery down here is, of course, a big problem for black. And here, and the threat is this, and there never came any counterplay, and well, A great game by Van Wely, maybe not so great by Nigel, but it just proves how strong the minority attack really can be. Thank you for watching GM Talks. This was your host, Sune Berg Hansen. There will be more videos on the Carlsbad structure to arrive soon here on YouTube for you. Thank you for watching.